Everybody,
Superman!
Jake. You're the worst. All right, everybody, this is Jake.
Am I worse than an internet reverend? A man who gets his credentials
They're
from
real.
the internet?
They're signed by Chaplain B.R. Martin. I don't know what the B.R.
I bet that's just George R. R. Martin's real name.
Or it's just not even a real person. You got ordained on the internet, so it
It's
count.
legit.
It isn't.
It's legit.
Why do we talk about this every time? We can't
If
even.
it's
We can't even get an
legit,
actual
you won't
intro
quit.
down because you keep bringing this up.
Because you refuse to call me reverend.
It's a theme.
Because you're not a reverend.
I am a reverend.
I don't care.
He
I'm not
has the
gonna,
documentation. I can't argue with that.
I don't care. I'm not calling you reverend.
It is legal.
Whatever. Anyways, so in this
Conan did
podcast, you shut your poor mouth. Let me at least do this
You're going
intro
to hell.
first. Probably.
I'm not absolving your sins.
He already absolved me. So.
Yeah.
You're an ass.
I can do baptisms too.
Oh, God. Anyways, so this
And
podcast
funerals.
is about the recent and
It was a
weird
minute. We haven't even.
casting.
We haven't even. Actually, I said what we're talking about.
It's not all that recent. I mean, it's been a few months.
Whatever. The more recent, somewhat recent, in the past few months, are you happy to
We
know,
don't
Richard?
stay on top of things.
No, we really don't. We get together like
We're gonna
once
do
every
a
5
lot
years.
of old topics so that we
Yeah.
can do new topics. 'cause
Exactly.
We've got the old ones out of the way.
Exactly.
Batfleck sucks.
Anyways, so
Flick.
Batfleck.
Flick.
it sounded like Batflex. Anyways, so
Just a
this
Batman
is-
based
Ben Affleck.
streaming
Is,
service.
Ben Affleck is not Batman.
he is not, and that's
I agree.
what we're going to be talking about.
Let him get the
is-
intro down.
Yeah, for Christ's sake.
So,
So
almost 2 minutes now.
If people are
People
still
don't know what
listening,
we're talking about. Yeah, people are still listening at this point.
they know what we're talking about by
Yeah.
now.
God bless them.
the weird casting and everything for the new Batman versus Superman movie or whatever it is going to be.
Just
like-
a dumb title.
Jesse
Yeah.
Eisenberg.
Well, okay, so let's start from the beginning though. So everyone, I think, can agree the Dark Knight trilogy was amazing.
Incredible.
And
I
so
thought
then,
The Dark Knight Rises was okay.
You painted whore.
anyways,
We're not going to talk about that.
that's a whole nother
I
thing.
think Bane could have been done better, but
Shut up. Anyways,
We're not talking. We're
So-
not discussing that.
I'm
So,
gonna
like,
be the one that
then-
disagrees this time.
so then we hear that they're making a Superman movie. I like Superman's origin and his story, and I like the fact that
I didn't
Superman.
really want to see it again, but I think
Yeah,
Man of Steel
I
was
liked
awesome.
Man of Steel. Even
Yeah.
though I understand the problems that people had.
yeah, but I thought
It addressed
Superman-
those problems though.
How
The first like half of Man of Steel was just a whole deconstruction of Superman, and then the
Yeah.
second half was a reconstruction.
I don't.
okay.
I was
It wasn't-
referencing
they
the
weren't-
whole him destroying the city and
yeah.
not really seeming to care that much.
Well,
because
he's new at it.
Super.
He's just getting
I'm
used
not-
to being Superman.
I was just saying I understand where people are
Yeah.
coming from. I agree. I think it. Main thing for me was it fit the scale. Of what
Yeah,
it
like that.
should
Yeah,
be.
like I thought it was like what it was like a Dragon Ball Z
Yeah.
type.
That was exactly my thought.
yeah.
But my only concern is really if Superman can do that, if he can handle that on his own,
Yeah.
what's he going to need the Justice League for?
Exactly.
2020.
But
I
and
thought it was
apparently,
2018.
Yeah, it might be.
but I think Zack
They'll
Snyder's
probably push it
gonna,
back. I mean,
supposed to direct that one as well.
gives me a little bit of hope, but I still.
Yeah, like but anyway, so like Man of Steel, in my opinion, I thought that was how Superman needed to be as a
agree.
movie. So then I was like, well, okay, how are they going to top that? Because again, like the fight scene, everything I thought was really good about Man of Steel.
We
and
finally
then-
get to see Superman punching stuff and
Yeah.
beating the shit out of stuff,
and
not
kill
just
someone.
and
Spoiler
not
alert.
not just lifting stuff and flying into the camera all pretty.
Yeah, like
Yeah, he actually killed. There's more depth to his
Yeah.
character. Which I
um,
always,
it's a very hard thing to do with Superman. It's a hard.
He doesn't just have the no kill thing because
Yeah.
it's what you do. This was actually how he came to that
Yeah.
conclusion.
which I like.
Um,
It
yeah.
sort of humanizes him more in a way. But
That's what they've said in interviews, that this is going to be why he doesn't kill.
Yeah,
Because he just murdered Zod. Although it
Yeah.
was his only option,
it really was.
especially with him being an inexperienced Superman.
Yeah. And so, I was just, I was actually talking to a coworker one day, and I was just, we were talking about that, and how, again, both of us agreed that Man of Steel was how we thought Superman should be as a movie. I was just commenting, it's like, well, how are they going to top that, though?
Yeah.
Because then he's like, well, Batman's going to be the new Superman movie. So I was like, okay, well, there you go. That's how they're going to top it.
And then they disappointed
Yeah.
us all.
Now, even though I knew Christian Bale wasn't going to be the new Batman, I was like, well,
I'm glad
I'll
that he
trust-
wasn't, because I like that was a trilogy.
Yeah.
It's its
Yeah.
own thing. I think it needs to stay its own isolated thing.
Yeah.
Especially with this
I
travesty,
think it would cheapen
potential travesty of...
I think it would cheapen what it already.
Yeah.
trilogy
Yeah.
was.
But then I was like, okay, well, who do they have to be Batman? He was like, well, they haven't, cast it yet. So I was like, okay. I was kind of thinking, who would be a good Batman?
There was a lot of speculation on that too.
Yeah.
I
and then,
always,
somebody nobody was even thinking of.
Yeah.
Comes out of nowhere. Like, the people that they had, like, in line, like, they were, like,
Actually,
their
yeah,
top
could be pretty
priority
good.
would have been so much better. Like, nothing against Ben Affleck as an actor. He's not horrible,
He's a
but
better,
he's just...
he's a better director.
He's just not very versatile.
If he was
he
going
was-
to direct.
He already
Man of
fucked
Steel
up Daredevil.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, which
Yeah. I mean...
hopefully they'll get it right now that Marvel has it back.
Yeah.
On their
Doing a
Netflix,
show.
the Netflix exclusive series that you'll never see because it's
Yeah.
on Netflix.
But anyway, so, like, I was kind of, like, really looking forward to this Batman-Superman movie because I was like, oh, maybe it'll be, like, a versus. They're fighting each other at first
I
and
think
then
that's
team
just
up.
the title that sort of got popularized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
What I've
probably
heard
not
that
the
has
working
nothing
title.
to do with
Yeah.
it.
I've also heard working titles being The World's Finest, which is
From what I know, is they wanted an older Batman who's
Which
more jaded and
I
stuff. and I
still
guess
kind of get that.
Superman
but
sort of inspires him, not really out of retirement,
Yeah.
but I guess.
be more active.
Yeah.
But even still, like, I mean, some of the other actors would have been so much better. Like, Josh Brolin, I think, would have been a better Batman.
Oh,
Adam West would have been better.
Adam West.
If you want an old Batman, he doesn't get
Yeah.
much older than Adam West. I
I
think he should do it if they make Batman Beyond, though.
or Clint Eastwood, I think, would make a good old Batman.
Yeah.
He's got the
Yeah.
voice for
he
it.
would
He
be the
does.
perfect Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like then that's when they cast Ben Affleck, and everyone was just like, the internet just blew up with hatred, understandably so.
There were no positive reactions
No,
to that.
but I was still like, okay, I'm not fond of this, but I'm going to still try and stay optimistic. Because again, Nolan's still on board, Zack Snyder's still on
It
board.
took me a while to get to that point, but I was
But
just
then all
like,
of a sudden they cast Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Nothing against him. I like Jesse
He's a good
Eisenberg.
actor,
but not as...
Bryan Cranston said he would do
Yes!
it.
especially when Heisenberg says that he's gonna do
Yeah.
it. You
Yeah.
call him up.
Yeah,
But
like
Heisenberg-
that would have been obvious, the obvious choice.
The most famous, badass, evil genius, conniving bastard.
that you sympathize for and root
Yeah,
for.
says,
I
if
would
you guys
play
want
Lex
me to be
Luthor.
Lex Luthor, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I think Zack Snyder got some kind of memo recommending Heisenberg, and he held it and read it, and he had his thumb over the H.
Yeah.
And that's why we
It's
got
like,
the kid from the Social fucking Network.
I can
Yeah.
kind of get them going with somebody younger.
But I
Granted,
just-
that
I
if
don't-
we just accept the fact that it's not going to be Bryan Cranston, it should be. I think we can all
Yeah.
agree on that. But if
Yeah.
just accept the fact, I can kind of understand them going with somebody
Yeah.
younger.
But not the
also,
kid,
why
not-
go younger than Superman? though?
Yeah. They like Lex
He's
Luthor
like-
should be about
I think
the
they
same
even
age.
they even established it in Man of Steel. I think he's like 30ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
35, I think is what they said.
Yeah, I think at some point in the movie they say
Which
like
is the
30s.
age
Yeah.
Jesus was supposed to be when he died.
I think it's 33.
Whatever.
Something like that. Like somewhere in his mid to early 30s.
I mean, there
Which I
was
thought
some
was an
very,
odd
there was
origin
some,
story
there was
thing.
some very, very subtle hints that Superman is Jesus. It wasn't subtle at all. It was very,
Much like Goku, it is
Yeah.
kind
Oh,
of the same story.
yeah. But I mean,
Let's
like,
not get into
you
that.
had
Yeah,
him like
anyways.
superimposed over Jesus, and he flew out of the spaceship with his arms all
We're
spread.
gonna stay on topic as much as
Yeah.
we can.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I don't know if you guys watched any of Smallville.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't.
kind of I mean after about 4 seasons, it got kind of
Yeah.
weird.
I hear they really,
The guy-
really toned down Darkseid in that show.
I didn't even know he was on the show. I kind of stopped watching after the
I just
black
heard
guy
it.
left. His black best friend.
Nah.
But anyway, the guy who played Lex Luthor on that show, I think would be a pretty good choice.
Oh,
he was actually in an episode of Sunny. One of the earlier seasons where they keep getting robbed. The gun control.
Okay, yeah.
He was the guy that was dating Dee, who was robbing the bar.
Yeah,
Michael
he
Rosenbaum.
could
He
do it.
actually went to WKU.
He could have. He would be a better choice than
Yeah.
If you've seen him
Kid
too,
from
I
the
think
Social.
he
Yeah.
Yeah.
works.
But another person that I thought would have been really good is Terry O'Quinn, who played John Locke in Lost, which
Yeah.
you still haven't seen, Richard.
I have not.
Good job.
But like, I think he would have fit the part.
Yeah.
He looks the part.
I agree.
But again, they're just
Yeah,
kind of like,
I can see them wanting to go younger, but Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah.
yeah, like that's
I wish they would have kind of gone in the way of, I guess, Grant Morrison's more recent, whatever the DC relaunch was with Action Comics.
Yeah.
Where Lex Luthor was kind of a bit lazier. He was a bit heavier.
Yeah.
And then Superman comes and his ego just kind of
Yeah.
gets shattered and then
Yeah.
he starts working out furiously.
Yeah. I think
Working
that-
more in,
Which also,
his
I would have
experiments
also
and
liked to
whatnot.
see some jeans and t-shirt Superman in Man of Steel.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
liked that approach. I like him not just being a god.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's much more interesting
Yeah.
when he can actually get hurt and it's
Yeah,
actually
it's easier to it's easier to make it like a movie and just material in general when Superman's not like just insanely overpowered. So I feel like with like this weird casting and stuff, either one, they've just got a very, very, very specific plan, and that's why they've got this weird cast, or they're just hell bent on making a crappy superhero
I feel
movie.
like DC just can't help but shoot themselves in the foot with
Yeah.
movies. Green Lantern,
Yeah, Green Lantern was a travesty.
Superman
They do
Returns.
such good animated movies, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is the weird because Marvel's animated stuff, from what I've seen,
Not
isn't
as
that good.
They got one or two that are
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
but
DC seems to do a bit better with
Yeah.
TV.
yeah.
Like I think like the Marvel heroes are they're better heroes, but DC are just way better written. Because like basically all Marvel is just kind of like some kind of genetic like nuclear whatever accident, more or less.
yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
DC, they're actually like, okay, what's he about or what's she about? What's their
He's
ordeal?
an alien. He's a space cop. He's
Yeah.
got dead parents, so he's got no powers but money.
But yet the best-
powers, unlimited money.
Yeah, but he's basically the best superhero ever
Yeah.
by being human. But yeah, like I think that's maybe one reason why. I guess like some of the DC heroes do work better like in comics and like on TV than as an actual movie. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe.
But again, like with DC, they also don't have as many well-known heroes. Like basically, your mainstream audience only knows
True,
like people
especially
from
now.
the Justice
Yeah.
League. They only know like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern,
Pretty much.
The Flash.
the Flash.
Maybe Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, if they
Aquaman.
yeah, and Aquaman,
But they know Aquaman is a joke. Though.
but except for in which Justice League.
Yeah, the 90s.
Yeah, no,
late
it was
It was early 2000s, yeah. Where like he
The Bruce
had like
Timm.
he had like a
Yeah.
hook hand.
Yeah.
He was a badass.
I also liked
That's how he
Aquaman
should
in
been.
Batman the Brave and the Bold because he was a joke, but he was like this overly flamboyant, boisterous type. He named his adventures.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like if they're gonna make Aquaman, I don't know if they'll make an actual movie of him because it's,
I actually had
Vincent Chase did an Entourage.
But I feel like if they do ever make an
Remember that show?
Aquaman movie, or if they put him in the Justice League, it needs to be like the Aquaman
Definitely
in
be that version. I mean, the whole
the
episode where
Justice
he
League.
cuts off his own hand
Yeah,
to save his
that show.
heir
was-
to his throne. Yeah.
That show got dark.
Yeah.
sometimes.
So did Batman Beyond. And
Yeah.
the Mr. Freeze episode was even in Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
I think that was why
They got away with more on Justice League though, because it was on late night Toonami.
Yeah.
a bit more off topic.
Yeah, because I know like Hawkwoman and Green
Green
Lantern
Lantern,
had a bit of a
Yeah.
romance going.
It was Hot Girl.
Hawk or whatever.
Yeah, they were like
Like it was heavily insinuated that they were having sex.
They were banging.
Yeah. Like it wasn't like it was sort of like they gave each other glances or maybe like kissed.
So
It's
did,
like
Terry McGinnis and what's her name, 10.
Yeah,
The-
from the card.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The House of Cards gang.
Yeah. They banged.
Oh yeah.
They
yeah.
did. Just like while he was also cheating on his girlfriend with her.
Yeah.
But I think
On
that's
Saturday morning
That's what
cartoon.
was better about those cartoons from our era, though.
You could get away with a lot more.
Oh,
Yeah, and I think too they weren't
The story
so
was
much
better.
made. They were, just good stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't really made for kids.
They were just made to be good stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, they couldn't do a lot of explicit things and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah. But I guess,
guess
like
the target
with,
on it,
most superheroes, most of them don't really do a whole lot of explicit things unless they're like the Punisher.
Deadpool.
Depends on what you read.
Oh yeah. But I guess like the more mainstream, like Superman's obviously not going to be like banging like prostitutes or anything. In your mainstream,
Well,
in your mainstream like superhero, like comics or whatever. To my knowledge, feel free to disagree because you're a bit more comic book savvy than I am.
I don't know that much.
Again, I said you're more
Yeah.
comic book savvy than I am. Really, the only comics that I've read all the way through is like Scott Pilgrim, and I've read some of The
a good
Walking
one.
Dead
Yeah.
and a handful of others. But yeah, like I guess more. I guess this isn't so much like the new Batman Superman movie as a whole. It's just kind of the whole DC universe. I guess is the more.
I still say DC is really doing good with movies. They put out like 2 or 3 animated movies a year now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they're actually,
clarify animated movies.
yeah, they're actually doing like a cinematic universe type thing, like Marvel is
Yeah.
with their animated movies. Because there's
I would say go for that. 'cause
Yeah.
they do
there
a
was-
lot better with that.
Yeah, there was a Flashpoint movie. Then afterwards, they've got like a movie coming out every 4 or 5
Yeah.
months, and
I haven't seen the new most recent one.
Well, I think,
two out
um,
of 3 that they have come out in a year, they say are going to be part of this new continuity. Or there was a Justice League War, which was the new 52's new Dark Side. There was a Son of Batman, which was
Yeah, I haven't
all
seen
about
that.
Damian Wayne. That
Yeah.
was pretty
It
good.
took him dying in the comics to get his own
Yeah,
But another thing that I like is
animated debut.
that they are kind of like giving a bit more, shining more light on like the lesser known heroes, like with Green Arrow, the show Arrow.
it's okay.
I like it.
I think it's gotten better.
Yeah,
I've watched a little bit of it. It definitely suffers from being a drama series on the CW.
Yeah.
but it can be worse.
yeah. Like
I think for what it is, it's
Yeah.
pretty good.
yeah. And then I think in this new season, because I haven't seen any of it, but I think they introduced the Flash.
Yeah.
I think it's like a test, and I think
He's getting his own show too.
Yeah.
So
So
there's pretty
yeah.
good. There's some other stuff that happens with Deathstroke. I like that Deathstroke is a big part.
Yeah.
Played by
Yeah.
Manu Bennett, the
Yeah.
show from
Yeah.
Spartacus, another great
He's
show.
also the White Orc in the Hobbit movies.
He was also disappointingly not voiced by Ron Perlman in Son of Batman.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I really like him in the show. Just
yeah. But yeah,
Just to say
I
that.
do like the
yeah,
Arrow.
when they had the card gang, I think in season 1, more of the obscure
Yeah.
stuff. They're bringing in Ra's al Ghul and League of Shadows,
Yeah.
stuff like
Um,
that.
Yeah,
Which I guess
you know,
is more famous by Batman Begins.
Yeah. But yeah, I do think that DC still has potential to kind of catch up with Marvel and with their movies. I think they just need to I don't know. I
They
don't
need
know.
to figure
Seems-
out
like
how
I
to
said,
do it
it's-
right and
yeah.
keep doing it right.
Yeah.
I feel like they can't help but shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah. Like it's not consistent enough.
Again, Chris Nolan just took it. But I think the thing with those is that they're just good movies. They're not
Yeah.
necessarily trying to be superhero movies.
Yeah, so when
So
you see
you've
the
said
Dark
many
Knight
times
trilogy,
before,
or at least in
it's
my
just-
opinion,
they're really
it-
good movies
yeah,
about a guy who
just-
just happens to be Batman.
yeah, like it just felt like a really good
It's
movie.
not a
and
Batman
just
movie.
happened to be like the lead actor or whatever. And again, I think that was the beauty and what made the Dark Knight trilogy so good.
I mean, that's why people don't read comics or
Yeah,
didn't grow up watching the cartoons and stuff. Like
really.
everybody
loved,
loves those
yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is harder to do with someone like Superman. He is kind of like the face of DC and like just your storybook
The first-
superhero.
He was the
I would
first,
say anymore.
Yeah.
Batman
There's a reason.
is-
Yeah,
Well,
but
there's
like
a reason he's called the cliche.
yeah.
Because he
He's
was,
the-
yeah.
So I guess it is
Ground
harder
Zero.
to
Yeah.
make a movie like in the line of the Dark Knight trilogy where you're watching the movie and it just seems like a really good movie and the lead actor just happens to be Superman. I think with Superman it kind of has
Yeah.
to be
Superman.
Superman. Like it has to feel like a Superman
Yeah.
movie. Otherwise, the comic book fans are gonna be like, "That didn't feel like a superhero movie. It just felt like a knockoff Superman,
Yeah.
movie or whatever."
Well, see, I think what they have done in Man of Steel and what they should continue to do, and what they did in some in the Justice League cartoon, they need to push Superman to the edge of his altruism.
Yeah.
Because he had to murder Zod.
Yeah.
It was, I guess, it was more of a defense thing. but
Yeah.
He had to kill Zod. In Justice League, he got to the point where he was ready to kill Darkseid at one point, and
Yeah.
he was gonna do it.
Yeah.
The only thing that stopped him was Batman, actually.
Yeah.
No killing.
Yeah, no killing. Even though he had guns mounted on the Batpod and
Yeah.
on the Bat and everything,
Yeah.
he didn't have any guns you hold in your hand, but
Yeah.
he
And
had
I think
guns.
the whole thing with him killing Darkseid or whatever, attempting to when Batman dies,
Yeah.
was they loaded up some special. He made one one-time exception. They had some special bullet or something.
Yeah.
I don't know that much about it, but
I know that Darkseid is like the biggest bad guy there is in
Yeah.
all of DC,
Yeah.
except for when they do multiversal
Yeah.
Crisis on Infinite Earth stuff. But
But I think I feel like that would have been better to do that than I mean, if they're going to do like a
yeah, I
Batman
assume Darkseid
crossover.
is going to be the Justice League
probably.
push. And I've heard that The Rock is like being looked at for Green Lantern. Like, is it John Stewart Green Lantern?
Yeah,
I
mean,
could
it wouldn't be
maybe see
terrible.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could
I
be
do-
better. They could get somebody better. But
I
it
do
wouldn't
prefer
be-
John Stewart to Hal Jordan personally.
You mean the Daily Show's Jon Stewart?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
the only one we're.
I want Jon
I want him
Stewart.
to play the Black Jon Stewart.
I want Jon Stewart to put on blackface to play Jon Stewart.
I don't even want the blackface, but I just want lots of references
Yeah.
to like he grew up in Harlem.
Static Shock would be pretty cool too. Just like
Yeah,
even if it was just kind of a background thing, whatever. But
yeah. I remember watching that show a little
he's
bit.
part of the mainstream
It was good,
continuity
yeah.
now.
Good for what it was.
Yeah,
I like the whole Batman Beyond episode.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Batman Beyond.
it was. Yeah,
Me
it
too.
was really good.
Terry's probably my favorite DC character.
Yeah, but yeah, I think DC really needs to kind of step up their game if they want to.
And they
Compete
can
with
too.
Marvel movie wise.
Yeah, and they can do it.
Yeah, oh,
they
yeah.
they've
seem to. There's
not
always
want
one
to.
little thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's almost like they don't even want to.
like they've been living off Batman for so long.
Yeah.
It feels like they're just like, we know how to do this. We should do it this way, but let's not. Let's try
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
different.
let's cast Ryan Reynolds and the
I didn't
Green Lantern.
hate him as Green Lantern.
I
The,
just feel
I
like
just
they-
hated the movie.
Yeah, I feel like they
the
really
writing
rushed
was
that
terrible,
movie.
but
They-
Tim Robbins
The villain was
got out of
big-
Shawshank, and he was in that movie.
Yeah,
the main villain was a
20 years
gas
later.
cloud.
Parallax is kind of hard. They
Yeah.
should have. Mark Strong was
perfect. Sinestro, yeah.
They should have gone with that.
done, yeah. Instead of making it like a stinger for a sequel that's never going to be made.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Kyle Rayner would probably be my favorite Green Lantern if they went with him. Because I think he's actually like an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he has the imagination. Because I know in Frank Miller's horrible All-Star Batman and Robin,
Yeah.
Batman's just ranting about insane. Batman is just ranting about how stupid Green Lantern is.
Yeah, that
Hal Jordan is.
that Batman is crazy. I mean,
Because he has no imagination.
he
He could be the
kidnaps-
most power. He has the most powerful
Yeah.
weapon in the universe.
doesn't he just like
But he makes like
kidnap
boxing gloves.
Green,
and
doesn't he
stuff.
just like kidnap?
Green Lantern in like a yellow room and like.
But
paints
doesn't
him
this
yellow?
Batman just like kidnap Dick Grayson
Yeah.
and force him to live in the Batcave and eat rats?
Yeah, like he shows everybody who he is.
And he
all
like
the time.
he slaps Alfred for feeding him.
Something.
That's weird.
It's been a
It's-
while. Yeah,
it's
that
bad.
was horrible.
I've seen the
Which is weird. Is
one-car
how
review,
the
but-
really good stuff he used to do.
Yeah.
with Frank Miller. It's either really good or terrible,
Insane.
Yeah.
crazy and terrible.
I agree because I've read every comic book.
Well,
known
you've
to
seen
man.
Sin City, right?
Yeah.
That's Frank Miller.
Yeah, I knew that was
Yeah.
Frank Miller. I knew.
I'm looking forward to the new one.
Oh yeah, when's that supposed to come out?
Later this year.
Oh, it's about time.
Not even in the summer. I think it's
Yeah.
late this year.
It's about time that they actually
Yeah.
started on that sequel.
So
Uh,
there's also going to be Wonder Woman in this Man of
Yeah,
Steel
who
2.
is Gal
Really?
Gadot?
I think she's some like Arab woman, which I can live with that for Wonder
Yeah.
Woman because she's kind of exotical or whatever.
I don't think exotical,
Exotical
is a word.
She's all exotical and stuff, but she's a Middle Eastern woman is Wonder Woman could make sense.
I mean,
I-
I've never seen her. I don't know if
I think
she is.
I can safely say it's probably the best casting decision for this movie.
So
Not
far.
hard to.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking, Jeremy Irons would have made a better
Lex Luthor than Alfred.
I feel like why put somebody that good and what I
Yeah.
assume can only really be kind of a minor character.
Yeah.
Especially if it's not even a Batman
Yeah.
movie. Alfred's going to be a minor character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Again, why put somebody that good? And
yeah.
yeah.
As much as we sort of got off topic, but
I think we
still,
stayed within the realm of DC.
Yeah. We stayed in the
think
realm of DC.
there might be some Supergirl stuff in the future. Because Kara Zor-El, who is in the comics, she's Supergirl. She's
Yeah.
Clark Kent / Kal-El's cousin, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a prequel comic to Man of Steel. You can only get it at Walmart or something. That was about her, the scavenger ship or whatever that they found in the Arctic.
Yeah.
Was hers like
Huh.
thousands of
I
years
feel like
ago.
it'd probably be a bit overcrowding for.
Yeah, but
Because I don't even know at this point if they're going to do Man of Steel 3. Well, they're not even. I guess
Yeah.
they're not even
Well,
doing Man of
Justice
Steel
League.
2. It's just
yeah.
Batman, Superman.
Yeah.
Well, whatever they wind up calling it, and then Justice League. So I don't
Yeah.
know if they're even going to
So,
It
again,
doesn't seem they're going for the whole trilogy
Yeah.
crossover trilogy.
But that was
Do one
that was
crossover,
their
one
Supergirl,
crossover, yeah.
I guess. I don't know if anything else will come of that, but
Well, I know she was on Smallville.
yeah.
I mean, I guess we'll just have to sit
They
back
addressed it
and
in that.
wait and see how terrible this
Or good.
yeah, or good, but
I would like to be pleasantly surprised.
yeah,
My
as would
expectations
I.
are low.
We all want to be pleasantly surprised, but at the rate they're going, it's not looking too. It's not looking too good for DC. So we'll just have to sit back and wait. But I think we're gonna have to wrap this up. So any closing?
Superman!
All right.
Wonder Woman.
Gonna go ahead and end
Superman!
this.